So this is outperforming the really, really popular brand name stuff in terms of tracking precision, robustness, and clarity. I mean, it's doing better than a lot of the stuff that was a couple $1,000. So there you go. Hey guys, Rex here. So I wanted to squeak this one out real quick. I'm going to do a more comprehensive comparison and review. I spent the last couple hours sitting here comparing this new model. The EP5 is now out, okay? I was just sitting here. I'll show you what I'm comparing it to. But there's like probably not a lot of time before they're not available because I had a hard time getting a hold of mine. So if you want one, I think they're 1 to 2 weeks out at the moment. For the two different models, EP5, the 5-25x56 first focal plane scope with the illumination and all the stuff. So yeah, just wanted to start off with that. But I am sitting here. I just had my first initial, honest to God, impressions of the new EP5 5-25x56 millimeter. Same general specifications as what I'm used to in my classic Schmidt and Bender PMIIs that I've run for so long. Now, when I started shooting to get a scope that would perform like this one does, back then it was right around $3,000. Now they're around $4,000 for a PM2. Very good optic. This is my APA, American Precision Armament 260. And this is my trick rifle I use for shooting water bottles to like make people smile or whatever, okay? But the performance of the Schmidt and Bender PM2 is like what I would consider to be like the cream of the crop, top of the line, tier 1, real good precision long range rifle optic in this class for long range and extreme long range shooting. So I have one of them on my 260. I have another one on my 375 Chi-Tac right now, the one that used to be on my Surgeon. 338 Lapua Magnum. You guys probably remember the Surgeon. 338 Lapua Magnum that I used to shoot beer cans with way back when I was a long-haired guy or whatever. And I know you guys enjoyed that deal. So I've got a lot of experience with a lot of these different style optics. These are all 34 millimeter scopes we're looking at today. I was comparing the Arken EP5, $550, which is crazy. I got a TANGO6, which is a 34 millimeter scope, different configuration, 50 millimeter tube. It's like a 4-24. This is about $1,500. Just a general comparison for how stuff feels and the general quality and stuff like that. I have one of the old Steiner Militaries. I got a bunch of other ones too, but like this is the one that wasn't attached to a giant, huge, heavy rifle I have to drag all the way up here. Okay, I didn't want to do that all day. So the Steiner Military, which is awesome. And then I got a Primary Arms Platinum 6-30 in a 30. These are all 34 millimeter scopes in a high magnification range. And the general construction, fit, and finish is going to be similar in other submodels that have maybe different magnification within those deals. So I just wanted to get a comparison for you guys. You can remember if you got a lot of experience how other scopes feel, but if you do a side-by-side, feel check, you're going to have, it's going to be more fresh on the mind. So that's why I did that for you guys. I wanted to give you good, honest first impressions, comparing it to other stuff. So the EP5, man, I'm telling you, this thing is a beast because like the Steiners, what's a Steiner Military now? A couple $1,000s at least, right? Like they're a couple $1,000. I think the Primary Arms Platinums are $1,200, $1,100 you can probably find them for. They used to be a little more than that. The Schmidt and Bender PM2s, like I showed you here, these are $4,000 now, or getting close, $3,800. And for $550, you can get the EP5 in a 5-25 by 56 millimeter. And you get such similar performance to the really high-end stuff. It's like, man, if they would have had this back when I started shooting, I'd have been all over this because I could have saved a huge amount of money. I probably wouldn't have. Maybe one of the reasons I got so into perfecting the long-range stuff is because I had to invest a lot of cash back then, which was a huge amount of money for me at that time. Because I was like poor guy, right? Still, I'm not like a rich guy. I mean, maybe it's good that I got that because I'm like, well, if I'm going to buy this stupid $3,000 rifle optic, I'm going to really figure it out. But that being said, man, EP5, you got first focal plane reticle. The reticle, by the way, looking at all these different scopes on the table, when it's on 5 power, it's very fine, but it's very crisp. You can still read the numbers if you got the appropriate contrast with the background you're looking at. But you can still see it there. The center is a very tiny dot. You're not going to see it on 5 power, but there's little crosses on each side of it. And I'll do a comprehensive review where I actually show you all this stuff, okay? But it's visible. The aiming point is visible on 5 power. When you crank it up, let's put it on 10 here. On 10 power, it's beautifully balanced for the kind of shooting I do. This is probably the magnification I would use if I'm shooting water bottles at 1,000 yards, okay? Or clay pigeons, like that's fun. You got a tiny little dot. You can start to see it at 10 power. We have a mil grid pattern going down all the way to 12 mils. And there's a little bit beyond that you could use if you memorize the spacing in the scope. And we have lateral mils going off to 8 that are marked, okay, in each direction. So that's cool. That's on 10 power. Now I'm going to crank it up to 25. I don't have a significant loss of light transmission. It doesn't get dark. It doesn't get blurry. And I'm looking at the reticle. The reticle is incredibly sharp. Even at 25 power, the aiming point in the middle is a tiny little dot. And it's like very usable at 25 power, which is cool. Some of the other stuff is not really balanced for that. So like you crank it up to 25 and it's just real crude, gets kind of fat. But this is nice. This is like a very nicely designed reticle cut with precision. Laser cut nowadays, but the technology and the engineering I think that's available for a lower price now is what makes this like, man, it's just the technology is coming up, and then they can execute it for cheaper than they would. And I think one of these guys' deals why they're so affordable. If this went through the normal process, I think they kind of exclusively sell it on their website is probably why there's not like a lot of middlemen. So like they streamline that end of it to where they can let them go for a really competitive deal. Hard to beat. These other ones, I looked at them for a couple hours. I don't want to make this too long of a video. But that's very nicely balanced reticle. The turrets, guys, very robust, okay? We have, this is in mils. We have a minute of angle version as well. Okay, so you got 0. Every 10th mil is marked. When you get into your double turn, it's marked up on top of there, which is a feature they didn't have on a lot of stuff back when I started getting into it, like the Schmidt does. But then so you can still just look at it and you don't have to like add, which is nice, okay? And you got a decent amount of adjustment on here too. The Schmidt and Benders, I know, are like 26 MRADs of total elevation adjustment, which is plenty to go way far. But if you're crazy and you want to do ELR, which is fun, okay? I'm just looking at this, make sure I get my numbers right. So the Schmidt and Bender is 26, I know that for sure. The Arken is 32 mils. So that's a bit more than the Schmidt and Bender. You have 32 mils or 110 on the minute of angle versions. That'd be about 110, right? Of elevation adjustment. Really good adjustment range, more than the PM2 in this $500 scope. Now we have to compare, right? So listen to why is it important for tactile audible turrets? Tactile means I can feel each click. If you're wearing gloves, you need to be able to feel it through the gloves. Or if you're excited, or if you're numb, or if it's cold, you need to be able to feel it In the dark, you will have to count clicks, or a lot of other deals. You might just be counting clicks, right? Or if you want to stay on scope, which is recommended for following through with the shot, check out our tutorials, right? You can just count the clicks. If you're making it and you don't want to lose the target through the scope and you want to stay glued behind it, which is a good idea. A lot of reasons. And the audible part is important for the same reason. You want to be able to feel it and make darn sure, right, that was 4 clicks, not like a guess, right? So that's cool. Very, very tactile and audible. That's like, their control group, by the way, is very robust. Let me see if I can pull this off of here for you. Do I have my little screwdriver or did I drop it? I did. Oh, there's one. That'll work. Oh dear. Oh boy. Okay, everyone make it. So we got the same size hex head wrench here. I'll do this in review for the screws that tighten down the outer turret, and for the zero stop screw, and for the retainer deal for the zero stop screw. Smart. So I'm going to loosen this one up here. Okay. I'm going to loosen this one up here. I just want to show you the robust turret on the inside. Okay. Look at that. That's a monster. That's probably where your weight comes from, and the glass too. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we have a very robust drum here. This is the inner post. So these screws up inside that little circle on the inside, I don't know if you can see that. These outer screws go through there, and you actually have a large circle, which is, some of them are very skinny posts. That large circle makes it easier to consistently grab on here and make it less fussy and delicate. It's steel. You can see that. See this ridge here? Kind of a bump. The zero stop is very simple. Right now you can see that screw protruding down. If I want to reset it, I loosen up these screws on top. I just undo this one. Same size wrench right here, see? All right. Okay. I loosen that up, but that's just a screw comes down and hits that ledge. Very simple, intuitive, easy design. Anyone can figure that out. The Schmidt and Bender, I'm here to tell you, was not that easy to figure out. I figured it out still in about 10 minutes, but I'm kind of familiar with scopes because of what I do, and I'm kind of smart, and I was relatively calm and collected and sober at the moment, right? But like, this is, when I do classes for long-range training, having a simple deal to set and operate is huge. Otherwise, you got every single guy, and that's what bogs down the class, is like weird little contraptions and all these different super complex designs to set the zero, something as simple as a zero stop. And that can be a real pain in the butt. So I'm just tightening this back up kind of evenly here. Okay. The general layout, I like the font on the numbers, okay? It's relatively easy to see them. If you look at something, I don't know, like the Steiner's very nice too, but there's hold on. It's a finer font on the numbers, which in a variety of conditions, you want to be able to see what the point of the number being there is, not so it looks cool, as so you can see the number, right? So you can actually see it more easily. The zero is more robust, so you're not going to spin past it without noticing the zero went by because it's a heavier font. Your little index mark to show you are at zero is very clearly labeled and identified, so you can see, which, man, I like the balance of the numbers, how that worked out. The spacing of the clicks is about ideal. And again, it's built like a tank, so I can be stupid. I'm not going to do this with the other ones laying on the table because I'll break them. I broke them before. This, I didn't even get to shoot it yet, and I'm not worried about it because I already know, because I've seen the other models. Now, this feels different than the SH4. It feels similar, more similar to the old EP4s of the turret mechanism. So I'm not sure what they got going on there. Maybe it's just the design or something. Windage turret's good. You have your right and left marked. So like if you forget which way it goes, which when we train you, we'll show you, you don't need that kind of stuff. But it's nice to just verify, like, hey, am I going right or left? Marked on there for you. Likewise with your parallax adjustment. This is a very nice smooth parallax. So you can eliminate your parallax. It is marked, okay? Infinity down to 25, which is nice to be able to come that close. And got a little graphic on there showing you kind of which way you're going. It's nice to have those added little things because your brain flows in a certain direction. You want to see which way you're going, right? We have illumination. $550, first focal plane, 5-25x56. I have a Vortex, what's the new one? Some kind of snake. The name of it, a 5-25 Vortex coming. I want to compare it against here because I heard they're really nice. I didn't come in by today. I just had to get the video out first. But that one doesn't have illumination. This one does have illumination, so it's kind of cool. We have our magnification ring. Is smooth, relatively easy to turn, and it's very comparable in feel to the more expensive scopes I got laying on this table. It's a lot nicer, actually, than this. This is awesome. This tracks good. And it feels nice, but like here we got a zero stop, which is actually a turret lock. Very, very fine adjustments on the TANGO6. They're not audible, at least to my deaf ears. They're not really that tactile. If I was wearing any kind of gloves, I wouldn't feel that. Maybe I would if everything was perfect. But if it's cold out and I'm trying to feel, I'm not going to be able to do that in the dark all that well with this. Likewise, the platinums are nice. This is a bit better. That's a lot more audible. Tactile sensation is not nearly as crisp as the Arken is. Incredibly crisp with that. Steiner. Very audible. The tactile sensation, not as tactile. Not as tactile as the Arken, but it's audible. It's pretty good. I really like the Steiner and how it's configured and how it feels. And then we have the Schmidt and Bender, my favorite, right? Very crisp as well on the Schmidt and Bender, but they're spaced very close together, and it's a little hard. You can easily skip over one or two clicks in there if you're in a hurry and kind of, even if you're trying to go slow, it'll kind of go past a few of them. This very, very nice. And as you saw when we took the drum apart, it's built like a tank. Zero stops, a lot nicer than any of the other scopes on the table. For the design is more simple and more robust. The glass quality in here is very good for its price range. And it's doing better than the scopes on the table here. The Steiner actually is really good. Very hard to discern now if I was in low light. Now, I've got a lot of rounds and I've got a lot of years on this Steiner here, so I'm pretty well familiar with it. But this new EP5, looking at it for the last hour or two on the table, is very clear, very bright. The glass is heavy. They are saying it is. What kind of glass are they calling it? It's ED glass. Which we do tutorials on how rifle scope glass is manufactured and how it works and why they have different properties. It's going to be heavier, which for a dedicated long-range precision rifle that you're not carrying around is fine, but it is heavier. But that weight is what is necessary to bend in all your different focal or your different wavelengths of light into the same focal point. That's why you get a clear image. When they talk about color correction and stuff like that, or like you get your reds and your blues and your greens and all that kind of intersecting in the same spot, they're not really caring about how it looks in terms of color. They're talking about clarity. Because if your colors are smeared across the focal area, that's not as good as having them all intersect exactly in the focal point. So that's why they use in the glass that is apparently available for this kind of value is incredible. For $550. Very, very, it works very well in low light. We did videos with the SH series, which is a different series than this, with the Schmidt and Bender and my Steiner M7. And you can notice it when the sun's been down for about 25 minutes and it's almost dark. Then you'll see the Schmidt and Bender and the Steiner. Okay, you can see that there's a difference there in terms of clarity in your very low light conditions. But like only a discerning eyeball would have noticed it. And I've got a lot of it, 20 years of experience doing that particular deal, right? With different kinds of high-end glass. And so it's like, uh-oh, someone's getting angry in there. Very good glass. Overall fit and construction, incredible. So like for $550, you're nipping at the heels of the stuff from 5-10 years ago that was $3,000-$4,000, and you're still actually nipping at the heels of it right now. Really, I'm still like, it's a good deal, guys. That's why I'm talking about it. I got all kinds of scopes. I just re-inventoried them. I got a lot of different stuff, and I got Simmons, and I keep it on those rifles. I've got Burris, I've got Leupold, I've got Zeiss. I'm not like a brand Nazi. I'm not strict on that stuff, but I will tell you a good deal when I see one, because I want you guys to be able to benefit from that. And so they do have, yeah, I'm going to have to go take care of him in a minute here. They have the combo package. If you use the code, they do let me use the code. And I want to beat the other guys by like $1. So my code, I think, is the best one. It's REX170. Get $170 off your $550 scope if you buy the combo pack, which they have a rigid mount, which is a one-piece mount, or actually opted for the rings. Nicely made rings. They're all marked with the torque specs. You get your rubber flip-up kind of caps. It's not rubber, but it's more of a pliable plastic, which actually is better for not snapping off when it gets brittle. And we have, I'll just show you. Combo pack includes we got the throw lever that attaches to your magnification ring. So if you're wearing mittens or something, you can still feel it and adjust that. We got a bubble level, which is handy. Those of you that are into long range know why. If not, you can watch my series. Comes with a battery, which I should put in there and probably see, huh? I'll do that in a big review. And then we got a little pouch bag deal. It's actually a pretty nice construction deal. So if you get the combo pack, you get all the mounts and all that stuff I just showed you for basically $0, just from using the Rex code. So if you want that, that's cool. And of course, Arken is one of the outfits that supports, drop the patch, supports the channel, right? And I'll tell you guys about that. I mean, it's what I do, right? I do the scope reviews for all the different scopes, and I'll share with you the deals. But I wanted to let you guys know, because when I checked the website today, I said I better just do a video before I do the full one, showing you that it exists, and I think they're 2 weeks out. I would imagine it'll get worse, so if you want one, grab one. Or if you want one of the other ones, I mean, you can use Rex 5 code for any of these other scopes. Are available on Optics Planet. If you go to Optics Planet, if you want a Sig, or if you want, they got primary arm stuff there. They got the Steiners over on Optics Planet. They got a lot of stuff. Schmidt and Bender, I think they used to have them there. I don't know if they still got that though. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you. I just got to tell you, man, I think, and the reason I pulled this out with these other scopes is I'm trying to determine which one of these deals is going to replace my PM2 Schmidt and Bender on my Surgeon 338, because I moved my PM2 from my Surgeon, the one I used to shoot beer cans with, to a different rifle. And so this one, because the tracking is basically, and I forgot to mention that, the tracking on this is, I can't discern an error when I run it up and down the stick. So it's like less than 0.5 or less than, 0.5% error. I have seen stuff that was maybe approaching 0.5% error, but most of them I had were like pretty much exactly on, which is what the PM2 does. And that's why you pay the big bucks for stuff like the PM2. Like, you need to pay $3,000 if you want it exactly on. So this is outperforming the really, really popular brand name stuff in terms of tracking precision, robustness, and clarity. I mean, it's doing better than a lot of the stuff that was a couple $1,000. So there you go.